Hello everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragons are a deck that has seen a lot of play in Rush recently. It's topped a few tournaments, and it is a deck that everyone is excited to try out. But it's also relatively cheap. You only need to really go through the box one time to be effective with it, and 2 times to be really good with it. So let's take a look at some of the cards and the skill and see what you can do with this deck. The skill is called Cybernetic Combat Customization. The skill can only be used if all of the monsters in your deck are machine monsters, and the deck contains no level 7 monsters. Interesting. So the deck cannot contain any level 7s, which means that it is a non-7s deck. So you can't play any cool level 7 machine monsters like Flag Breaker, which you couldn't anyway because it's a limit 3 card, but they really don't want you to be playing this deck with just like non-Cyber Dragons, basically. Requirement: from turn 2 onward, choose one face-up monster on your field with 2100 attack points or 2400 attack points. That monster gains 500 attack points until the end of the turn. You can shuffle 1 card from your hand to the deck, and if you do, add 1 Proto Cyber Dragon or 1 Fusion from your deck or graveyard to the hand, each card once per duel. Really cool. So you can use the effect once per turn, so even if you've already used the effect twice, once to get Cyber Dragon and once to get Fusion, you can still give one of your monsters 500 attack points. So it's a really cool skill. It gives you a lot of advantage, and you can easily Fusion summon, which is very nice. Alright, for the main deck, we are playing Ancient Gear Golem. We got this card for free, and this is the best deck to use it in. Level 8, 3000 attack points, 3000 defense points. It is a legend monster. It cannot be special summoned, and it attacks. It inflicts piercing battle damage, and when your opponent cannot attack. This card inflicts piercing damage, and your opponent cannot activate trap cards when it declares an attack. Very, very good. You can use it to stop negate attack. You can use it to stop widespread ruin. You can use it to stop buffered slime. You just win the game. Really, really strong. Unfortunately, this card is an Earth monster, which means that you cannot attack with it the turn that you play Cyber Entry. Keep that in mind. Next up, we have Cyber Assault Dragon. 2400 attack, 1800 defense, level 8. You can tribute summon this card in attack position by attributing 1 face-up Cyber Dragon. That includes Proto Cyber Dragon, so that's a really good card. Place 1 Cyber Dragon from your graveyard on the top of your deck to destroy 1 face-up level 8 or lower monster with 2400 or higher attack points on your opponent's field. Great! So you can get rid of a card like Cyber Twin Dragon. You can get rid of a card like the Rising Hero Tantalum. You can get rid of several powerful monsters like Royal Rebels Heavy Metal. It's a free card, and it gets you Cyber Dragon back on top of your deck. But it can only be used on Cyber Dragon. Unlike in the regular game, Proto Cyber Dragon's effect to treat its name as Cyber Dragon only applies while it is on the field. Next up, we are playing 3 copies of Cyber Dragon. If your opponent is the only one who controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand to the field. 2100 attack, 1600 defense points. Cyber Search Dragon, 2400 attack, 1600 defense, level 8. You can tribute summon this card in attack position by tributing 1 face-up Cyber Dragon. During your main phase that you normal or special summon this card, place 1 card from your hand on the top of your deck to special summon 1 Cyber Dragon from your graveyard face-up to your field. That is crazy. This is essentially it's kind of like a level 5 2400 attack monster, because you can essentially tribute your Cyber Dragon, summon the Cyber Search Dragon, then return a card from your hand to the deck to play your Cyber Dragon right away. Which basically means that the card in your hand was like the only card you tributed to summon Cyber Search Dragon, and didn't even go to the graveyard. It goes to the top of your deck. The only thing that's different is you can actually like tribute a spell card in this instance, so it's even better than a level 5 2400 attack monster. It's just a really, really good card. You can only use the effect once, because it's only when it's during this turn that you summoned it, but it's a really, really good card. So definitely, I would play this card at 2. I only currently have it at 1, but just a fantastic card. Much better than like the Attack Cyber Dragon and the Laser Cyber Dragon, whatever like the other Cyber Dragons we got in the real game were. This is like some real upgrades. Next up, we have Proto Cyber Dragon. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon, level 3, 1100 attack, 600 defense. You can search this card with the skill. Really, really good. We are playing 1 copy of Ultimate Flag Beast Bolt Tricorn, which is a level 3 light machine monster with 1200 attack points and 200 defense points. When it's summoned, if you have no other monsters on your field, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and 1 face down spell or trap on your opponent's field cannot be activated until the end of their next turn. So it negates trap cards during your turn and it negates spell cards during your opponent's next turn. Really cool effect. It's basically like popping the card. So being able to just pop a card just by sending the top card from your deck to the graveyard is really good. Next up, we have Assault Cannon, level 3 light machine monster with 1200 attack and 600 defense. If you have 3 face-up machine monsters on your field, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field loses 300 attack and defense until the end of the turn. Solid. Really good card. Milling cards is nice. You can use it to potentially set up your Cyber Entry or even your Talismanic Seal Array, so good card. We are playing 3 copies of Crafter Drone. Send 1 machine monster from your hand to the graveyard or draw 1 card. The problem with this card is that it's Earth, so it can't attack the turn that you play your Cyber Entry, so just tribute it. And we're playing 1 copy of Ultimate Flag Beast, Avian Wolf, just to kind of fill out our deck a little bit. 3 copies of Cyber Entry. This card is crazy. Requirement, you have 3 or more light attribute machine monsters in your graveyard. Special summon 1 Cyber Dragon or Proto Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard to your field. This turn you can only attack with light attribute machine monsters. Powerful. Solid. And you can use it multiple times because it's just a spell card. So you can play like 3 of these. Yeah, so great card. Talismanic Seal Array. Shuffle 4 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. 1 face-up monster on your opponent's field. It loses attack equal to its level times 200 until the end of the turn. So if the monster is level 7, it loses 1400 attack points. That's just good. And then being able to put fusion monsters back into your extra deck is also very, very powerful. So yeah, this is a card you should definitely play. We are playing 2 copies of Fusion. You can only search Fusion 1 time with the skill, so you do want to draw it occasionally. So yeah, just fuse. You can only fuse from the field, but still. And that's kind of hard to do with Cyber End in particular, but you can do it. Barrage of Steel. If you have a face-up machine monster, destroy 1 spell or trap in your opponent's field. Excellent card, played at 3. And lastly, we're playing Negate Attack, and then your opponent can't attack again for the rest of the turn. Cyber End Dragon, 3 Cyber Dragons. This card inflicts piercing damage. And Cyber Twin Dragon, level 8, 2100 attack points. It can attack twice per turn. So this is basically multi-strike Dragon Dragius, but with 300 extra attack points and no cost. Very, very good. Okay, that's the deck. Let's take a look at the replay. So we're going first against another machine deck. Our hand is Cyber Dragon, Assault Cannon, Negate Attack, and Proto Cyber Dragon. All right, we draw the Cyber Entry, so we're going to go ahead and set everything. Then we'll tribute our Assault Cannon to set Cyber Dragon as well, just to make sure that we have 0 cards in our hand for the ultimate rush draw. It's our opponent's turn. Our opponent's going to set 2 and then summon Ancient Gear Golem. That means our Negate Attack does not work. Very unfortunate. Then they also activate Barrage of Steel to destroy the Negate Attack. That's pretty bad. But then he attacks into my Pro Cyber Dragon, not the level 5 monster, so surprising. We take more damage, but now we have a better monster, so that's pretty good. We go down to 3,600, and it's our turn. We draw, and we drew the nuts, chat. We drew Crafter Drone, Ultimate Flag Beast, Avant Wolf, Cyber Dragon, Crafter Drone, and Cyber Dragon. Let's go. So we flip the Cyber Dragon, we activate our skill, raise its attack points to 2,600, return the Crafter Drone to the deck to add Fusion to our hand. Then we normal summon the Avant Wolf and the Crafter Drone, tribute both for Cyber Dragon, and we activate Fusion in order to summon our level 10 Cyber End Dragon. Cyber End Dragon attack, and we pass. It's our opponent's turn, they draw 5. Normal summon Crafter Drone, use its effect, pitch 1 to draw. Then they'll summon Nail Hedgehog. They mill 1, and then if the monster card was sent by the effect, the opponent loses 500 attack points. So the Cyber End loses 500 attack points. They tribute 2 for Steel Seed Martin Venari, which is a level 7 Earth Machine monster with 2,400 attack points. Toss a coin number of times equal to the number of face-up monsters on your opponent's field. 1, 2, or 3 heads. This card can attack twice. 3 heads. This turn also inflicts piercing damage. We only have 1 monster. He's going to activate Ether Finder's effect. So he sends a spell trap from his hand to the graveyard, and then his monster gains 300 attack points. He flips a coin, and then he activates Coin Tech Breakthrough, which is his skill. Make 1. If he activated a turn to cost coin, he can make 1 face-up Earth Machine monster, gain 500 attack until the end of the turn. And then if that monster was in face-up defense position, change it to attack position and switch its to original attack defense until the end of the turn. So his monster gains 500 attack points. It's at 3,200. And he gives up. There you go. So 4,000 attack points, enough to take down the Ancient Gear Golem, enough to take down his entire turn. You just can't beat 4,000 attack points unless you have Tribute to the Doomed or you have the Royal Rebels card. So there you go. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.